What's up, guys? We're back in the garage. I'm probably gonna play some footage of the work that I did getting the Allison 6-speed to kind of sit in the truck properly, at least to sit in the floor of the truck properly. However, nothing is sitting in the truck properly. And I've hit a crossroads. The problems I am running into is I've had to cut the floor and raise the Allison up a lot to get the transmission pan to clear the frame rails. I've said before, this is going to be an air ride truck at some point, so when it lays on the ground I can't have the transmission pan getting smashed all the time, hanging below the frame rails. If I raise the engine up anymore to get the proper engine angle, I'm going to be through the hood, and either will require a cowl hood or some kind of hood modification, in which I'd really like not to do. I love the factory OBS hood. I love that style. I'm not huge on the cowl hoods. I don't hate them, but I would much rather stay under a factory hood. So I'm just running into issues. The biggest issue is I've already crossed a point by buying that adapter kit that it's hard to go back. So kind of here are my options. I made some phone calls today. I talked to CA Conversions, who does Allison transmission conversions for Cummins diesels, and the computer system to run my transmission with my engine, the correct torque converter, the display to tell me what gears I'm in, and the best throttle position sensor for their computer altogether is about $4,400. I'm already in $1,300 on the adapter and the billet flex plate, and I also still need a tail housing for this transmission, because when I got the transmission, I guess whenever they yanked the transmission out of the wrecked truck, they broke one of the mounts, so I need a replacement tail housing. In the end, I don't know if this transmission's any good. I can pull the pan off and I can smell the fluid to see if it's burnt, and I can make sure there's no clutch material in it, and that is the best I can do on making sure this is a viable transmission. And I'm getting to the point where, you know, almost $6,000 on a transmission, I don't know if it's good. I'm not sure it's worth it. So the options are cut my losses on the Allison, sell the adapter online, get what I can out of it, sell the Allison for whatever I can, which is probably not much, and also get rid of this 46RE that I have over here that came with the Cummins engine, but is one of the worst transmissions to ever be paired with a Cummins, and buy a used 48, the Dodge transmission, I want to say it's a 48 RH, and then have that one built because I'll have a core. And I already have the adapter because it uses the same adapter that the 46 uses, and go that route, which would still cost $4 or $5 grand, but it doesn't need any electronics to run with the Dodge engine, so I don't have to pay for electronics. And you know, it's meant to be paired with this setup, so it would be much easier, and it would probably fit under the floorboard, and I could just weld that hole back up and keep factory carpet in the truck like I wanted without having to do a big transmission doghouse. It's kind of going backwards because, like I said, I've already spent money trying to get this Allison on there. But, you know, where do I stop throwing money at this Allison? I'm still waiting to hear back from D-Stroked on their computer system and how it works and just all the information I'm trying to gather on this. But even it is going to be an expensive computer system to run a transmission that I don't know if is any good yet. So that's really my two best options. The other option is trying to find a 4L80E with no core, and paying the core cost already built, and then also still having to buy a converter or an adapter plate and a controller for it. So it's still a terrible option. I'm going to spend a ton of money doing that also. But my options are pretty slim. I will show you the problems I'm having with the transmission currently. So currently what I'm working with is my engine is basically at the top of the core support. I have really no more room to bring this engine up. You know, like I was saying, if I add anything else to this, it comes up any more, I'm through the hood. And to get the engine, which ignore the level on there because that's not proper angle because the truck's at an angle. To get the engine at the proper angle where the transmission and engine are, you know, tilting back, I would have to bring the engine up. Because right now, I have the transmission up to where it needs to be, and it still needs to go up higher to clear the pan. The engine needs to come up in front to clear the pan. So I'm kind of spinning my wheels on this, on if this is the route to go, or if I need to take a step back, sell off everything I have for this, and try to get myself into the Dodge unit. You know, I really wanted to do this Allison conversion, but at the same time, I would like to drive this thing one day. And if I'm constantly just trying to save thousands and thousands of dollars to get it moving under its own power, I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think YouTube allows me to put a poll in this, and I'm gonna go ahead and poll it out to see what y'all guys think. Should I continue trying to go with this Allison? It's money I don't have. I never expected it for it to be that expensive. I knew the D-Stroke computer is about $1,600, but then I still need some other stuff with it, including a new torque converter for this transmission. I want to say it's about $200 to get a new tail housing off of eBay. I'm just trying to figure out where I should go with this. Should I keep investing and hoping for the best? Or should I back up and just use what Dodge intended to be behind this? And the other thing I'm worried about is drivability. I'm thinking about from perspective, I want this thing, I want to get in, turn the key, and I just want to drive. I don't want to have to worry about, oh man, the transmission computer's messing up and it's not reading a sensor or something, it's not shifting right, or it needs to be retuned because I messed with stuff on the engine. I want this thing as simple as possible. I don't want to have to be rolling around with a laptop trying to retune my transmission on the fly with some guy on the phone that I'm paying hundreds of dollars to tune the transmission. I need this to be easy. I want to drive this thing. The Dodge transmission, I don't have to worry about that. I just have to build it strong enough to handle the power that I'd like to go to, and I should be good to go. Where the Allison is more finicky on, if I start changing stuff on the engine, I need to change stuff in the transmission, and it's going to cost, you know, a couple $100 to retune it to whatever setup I'm doing. And then also I got to think about, and God forbid this ever happens, and both these companies are great companies and I'm sure they'll be around for a long time, but if either one of these companies ever goes out of business, what is going to be my availability for parts or stuff having to be replaced? We're kind of in strange times as far as, you know, businesses go, and you never know. I mean, with, you know, this isn't me throwing AccuWare under the bus, but with a big company like AccuWare going out of business, you never know who could go out of business. And I bet those people who bought AccuWare systems never thought there would be a day that they might not be able to have their parts serviced. So I am also thinking about that with these computer systems for such a specialty conversion, basically. So like I said, I'm gonna try to pull this on the YouTube and just see what y'all think. I mean, try to think of it from my perspective. I'm on a limited budget. I'm a family man. I'm not a big YouTuber. Y'all can see my subscriber count. It is very small, so every bit of this is coming out of my pocket, and it is very hard to justify the huge money that this thing has been costing me. So consider, if you were buying it yourself and you were on a limited budget, what direction do you think you would go, and kind of pull based on that. But I'm curious to see what other people think. I mean, I know it would be really cool to see an Allison behind this, but you know, it's just such a weird deal because I've not found anybody else out there with a Cummins swapped GMC with an Allison behind it bagged. There are a couple people out there with 4x4 ones, but I have not seen anybody with a bagged one that has to worry about the kind of space issues that I'm working with. Can't talk right now. So yeah, just let's see what y'all think. You know, this video already went 10 minutes, even though I was trying to keep it short and not talk too much. But you know, like I said, if I can't do the poll, throw it in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm just curious of what y'all's opinion would be if y'all were doing the same thing I was doing. So appreciate y'all guys watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do. Hopefully the content will be getting better from here once I make a decision on this, so that I can start moving on some parts. But you know, I appreciate y'all guys, and y'all guys have a good night.